Hi, I'm Jackson. Everyone says I'm too intense, too focused on my career. Maybe they're right. My apartment walls are covered with framed certificates instead of family photos. That should tell you something. Dude, you need to get out more. When was your last date? Trevor leaned against my kitchen counter, his signature baseball cap turned backward. Who has time for dating? The Henderson Project's deadline got moved up again. I tapped furiously at my laptop, not looking up. There's always an excuse with you, Trevor said, grabbing an apple from my fruit bowl. Work-life balance, ever heard of it? Says the guy who's been taking a break from responsibility since college. I finally looked up, smirking. Trevor bit into the apple with a loud crunch. At least I know how to have fun. Your sister's worried about you, you know. Maya, worried? That's new. I snorted, closing my laptop. Last family dinner, she barely acknowledged my existence. Well, she talks about you plenty when you're not around. Something in his tone made me pause. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, man, just people talk, that's all. What people? What are they saying? I straightened up, suddenly alert. Trevor shifted uncomfortably. Look, I shouldn't have said anything. Trevor, what did Maya say? He sighed, tossing the apple core into my trash. Fine. I was at Eliza's birthday party last weekend. Maya was there with Marcus. She was telling everyone some story about how you got fired from your internship for stealing ideas. What? I've never been fired in my life. And something about you being desperate, showing up uninvited to your ex's wedding. My stomach dropped. I don't even have an ex who's married. There's more, Trevor said, looking everywhere but at me. She's been telling people you're on medication for anger issues. That's why you're always so intense, that no woman would put up with your mood swings. I sat in stunned silence, connecting dots, the strange looks at the office, canceled lunch plans, unanswered texts. Why would she do this? My voice came out smaller than intended. Look, man, siblings are complicated, Trevor said, pulling up a chair. But this has gone beyond sibling rivalry. My phone buzzed. A text from Eliza. Can we talk? Heard some things about you that don't add up. How long has this been going on? I asked, my grip tightening around my phone. Months, I think. Maya's always had stories, but lately they've gotten more creative. And people believe her? She's convincing, Jax, all tears and concern when she talks about you. I'm just worried about my brother. That act. I stood up, pacing my kitchen. My promotion review is next week. If HR's heard any of this, that's why I had to tell you. This isn't just harmless gossip anymore. My phone buzzed again. Another text from a number I didn't recognize. Hey, heard you're going through a rough time. Maya told us about your issues. Here if you need to talk. I showed Trevor the message. Who even is this person? What issues? Trevor's expression hardened. This stops now. What are you going to do about it? I looked at the wall of achievements Maya was systematically undermining with her lies. I'm going to find out exactly what she's been saying, to whom, and for how long. Then I'm going to make sure she never does it again. That's the Jackson I know. Trevor nodded approvingly. Where do we start? With Eliza. She seems willing to talk. If Maya's been spreading these rumors for months, there must be a trail. Eliza's cafe choice was predictably trendy, all exposed brick and hanging plants. She waved when I entered, perfectly manicured nails glinting in the sunlight. Jackson, thank you for coming. Eliza spoke with her characteristic precision. I've been concerned about the narratives circulating about you. You mean the lies my sister's been spreading? I slid into the seat across from her. I reserve judgment on veracity. Eliza stirred her tea methodically. However, the inconsistencies have become troubling. What exactly have you heard? Various accounts that you were dismissed from Brightwell for intellectual property theft, that you have unresolved anger management difficulties. Most recently, that you've been inappropriately contacting former romantic partners. Trevor, who had come along for support, interjected. It's all garbage, Eliza. You know Jax. I believe I do, she nodded carefully, which is why I found these stories increasingly implausible, particularly when Maya claimed you were seeking employment at Riverstone Technologies. Riverstone? They're our biggest competitor. Precisely. She suggested you were leveraging confidential information from your current position. She appeared quite distressed about your supposed ethical lapse. My blood ran cold. That's not just a lie. That's career-ending. That's illegal. Who else was at this particular character assassination? Trevor asked. Several colleagues from your industry were present, including Director Sanderson. My boss's boss was there? The room seemed to spin. When was this? The charity gala, approximately 3 weeks ago. Pieces clicked together, the canceled meetings with Sanderson, the sudden security review of my projects. I need names, dates, exact quotes if possible, I said, pulling out my notebook. I anticipated this request. Eliza slid a small leather journal across the table. I've documented conversations that struck me as peculiar. It's a habit from my journalism days. Trevor whistled. Eliza, you're something else. I merely observe, she said with a slight smile. Page 17 contains the most damaging allegations. As I flipped through, Marcus, Maya's boyfriend, entered the cafe, spotted us, and approached uncertainly. Hey, Jackson, mind if I join you? That depends, I said coldly. Are you here to spread more of Maya's stories? Actually, Marcus shifted uncomfortably. I'm here because I think she's gone too far. Trevor stood up. Why should we trust you? You're always backing her up. Not this time, Marcus said firmly. She crossed a line. Elaborate, Eliza prompted. She's been calling your clients, Jackson, posing as your assistant, rescheduling meetings you never show up for. I found the list in her planner. I felt sick. That explains the Westridge account falling through. Why tell us now? Trevor demanded. Because yesterday she was laughing about it. Actually laughing about how much money you've probably lost. Marcus looked genuinely disturbed. When I questioned her, she said you deserved it for always making her look bad in front of your parents. I've never, I started. I know, Marcus interrupted. That's why I'm here. I've got screenshots of her texts planning this stuff, and I recorded her admitting to it yesterday. Why would you record your girlfriend? Eliza asked suspiciously. Because things haven't been adding up. She's been getting more vindictive, not just toward Jackson. Marcus pulled out his phone. Listen, Maya's voice filled the cafe. Of course I made it up. Who cares? Nobody's going to hire him after I'm done. It's hilarious watching him scramble, trying to figure out why his perfect little career is falling apart. She's trying to sabotage my entire life, I whispered, the reality sinking in. This is beyond sibling rivalry. It's defamation, Eliza stated matter-of-factly. And interference with business relationships, both actionable offenses. You need to document everything, Marcus advised. I'll help however I can. We all will, Trevor added. I looked at the three of them, my unexpected allies. I know exactly what we need to do. Sunday dinner at our parents' house, neutral territory. Maya wouldn't expect an ambush here. Jackson, you made it. Mom hugged me at the door. Your sister's already here. I entered the dining room where Maya sat scrolling through her phone. She looked up with a practiced smile that didn't reach her eyes. Well, look who decided to join us, she said sweetly. No emergency work crisis this time? Funny you should mention my work. I set my phone on the table, recording app running. It's been quite challenging lately. Aw, poor baby can't handle the pressure? Her tone was mocking, but her eyes darted to my phone. The doorbell rang. Mom returned with Trevor, Eliza, and Marcus in tow. Hope you don't mind. I invited some friends, I said casually. Maya's smile faltered. Marcus, what are you doing here? Supporting a friend, he replied quietly. Dad emerged from the kitchen. What's going on? Family meeting, I announced, with witnesses. Maya's eyes narrowed. What is this? This, I slid Eliza's journal across the table, is a record of every lie you've told about me over the past 6 months. I don't know what you're talking about. Maya laughed nervously. Eliza always had an active imagination. And these, I played the recording Marcus had made. Just your imagination too? The color drained from Maya's face as her own voice filled the room, bragging about destroying my reputation. You recorded me? She glared at Marcus. That's illegal. Single-party consent state, Eliza corrected primly. Perfectly legal. Mom, Dad, Maya turned to them pleadingly. This is ridiculous. Jackson's always been jealous of me. Jealous? I laughed incredulously. You told my boss I was selling company secrets. You called my clients pretending to be my assistant? Our parents stared in shock. Is this true? Dad asked. Of course not. Maya stood up, tears forming. Jackson's twisting things. He's always been so intense, so angry. Stop. Mom's voice was uncharacteristically firm. Maya, we need the truth. Fine, Maya snapped, mask slipping. So what if I exaggerated a few things? He's always been your favorite. Perfect Jackson with his perfect grades and perfect job. So you tried to destroy my career, my reputation, my life? I kept my voice steady despite the anger bubbling inside. You're overreacting, she scoffed. It was just talk. Just talk? Trevor interjected. You cost him clients. You nearly got him fired. You had no right, I said, standing to face her directly. No matter what issues you have with me, you crossed every line. What are you going to do, sue your own sister? Maya sneered, but fear flickered in her eyes. If necessary, I replied calmly. Defamation, tortious interference with business relationships, identity fraud for impersonating my assistant. You wouldn't dare, she whispered. Watch me. I gathered my evidence. You have one chance to fix this. Call everyone you've lied to. Admit what you did. Write formal retractions where needed and stay away from me and my career. This is absurd. I'm not doing that. Maya's voice rose hysterically. Mom, Dad, are you just going to let him threaten me like this? You did this to yourself, Dad said quietly. Maya's face contorted with rage. She grabbed her wine glass and hurled it against the wall, shattering it. You'll regret this, Jackson. I swear you will. She lunged toward me, nails aimed at my face. Marcus and Trevor stepped between us, restraining her. Let go of me, she screamed, thrashing violently. That's enough, Dad shouted. Maya, stop this right now. You're all against me, she sobbed, still struggling. You've always been against me. Maya Garcia, came a new voice from the doorway. A police officer stood there, summoned by a neighbor who'd heard the commotion. Is there a problem here? The restraining order hearing was mercifully brief. Maya sat with her attorney, shooting daggers at me across the courtroom. The court finds sufficient evidence to grant a temporary restraining order, the judge announced. Miss Garcia is to remain at least 100 yards away from the petitioner and his place of employment for a period of 6 months. Outside, Trevor clapped me on the shoulder. One down, one to go. The civil suit will take longer, Eliza reminded us, checking her watch. Though her outburst at dinner certainly strengthened your case. Marcus approached hesitantly. Just got word from HR. They've accepted my transfer request. I start in the Denver office next week. Smart move, Trevor nodded, getting some distance. Has she tried contacting you? I asked. Constantly, Marcus sighed. First angry, then apologetic, says she's changed. People like Maya don't change, Eliza observed. They simply adjust tactics. My phone buzzed with an email alert. Director Sanderson wants to meet tomorrow. That's good, right? Trevor asked. After all the evidence you showed him. We'll see, I replied, uncertain. Corporate damage control can go either way. The next morning, Sanderson greeted me with unexpected warmth. Jackson, thank you for your patience through this unfortunate situation. I appreciate the opportunity to clear things up, sir. More than cleared up. He slid a folder across his desk. We're implementing new security protocols based on your recommendations. And, he paused meaningfully, the Westridge account has requested you specifically for their expansion project. Relief flooded through me. Thank you, sir. No thanks needed. Good work speaks for itself when it's not being deliberately undermined. As I left the building, a familiar figure waited by my car. Maya, keeping just beyond the 100-yard limit. Jackson, please, she called. Just 5 minutes. I approached slowly, stopping at the legal distance. What do you want? To apologize. Her eyes were red-rimmed. I went too far. I see that now. Now that there are consequences, I corrected. I'm your sister, she pleaded. We can work through this. Family is forever. Family doesn't try to destroy each other, I replied coldly. I was jealous and insecure, she admitted. But I'm getting help now. Therapy twice a week. Good for you. That doesn't undo the damage. What can I do to make this right? Desperation crept into her voice. Nothing. Some bridges stay burned. You can't mean that, she whispered. We grew up together, which makes your betrayal worse. I turned to leave. The restraining order stands. The lawsuit proceeds. Actions have consequences, Maya. So that's it? 28 years of being siblings erased? I paused, looking back at her. You erased it, not me. With every lie, every sabotage, every choice to hurt me instead of dealing with your own issues. Her face hardened. You always were self-righteous, and you never could take responsibility. Goodbye, Maya. That evening, I met Trevor, Eliza, and a few other friends at our usual spot, the weight of the past months finally lifting. To justice, Trevor raised his glass, and to leaving toxic people behind. Even when they're family, I asked. Especially then, Eliza said firmly. Family should be held to higher standards, not lower ones. I've been thinking about that promotion, I admitted, the one in Seattle. You're considering it? Trevor looked surprised. I thought you wanted to stay near your parents. I did, but maybe some distance would be good. Fresh start. Whatever you decide, Eliza said, you have people who support you, people who know the truth. That matters more than I realized, I nodded, thinking of all the bridges Maya had burned for me and the unexpected allies who'd helped rebuild them. So, Trevor grinned, when's your next date? I laughed, the sound surprising me with its lightness. One step at a time. The right person will appreciate your intensity, Eliza assured me. Your sister was wrong about that too. I smiled, realizing Maya's cruelest comment had lost its sting. Here's to finding out what else she was wrong about. Do you ever wonder how much of yourself you compromise to keep peace with toxic people? Sometimes cutting them off isn't just self-preservation, it's self-respect. If you've had to make that difficult choice, you're not alone. Share your experience in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about navigating difficult relationships.